And we should be live. Let me go ahead and check. One good thing about being demonetized is that you can actually instantly check and not have to wait for an ad. Alright, here we go. We are in fact live. Awesome. Alright, hello everyone. Ace here. Welcome to the live stream. Today I'm joined with returning guest Nathan X2000.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being on again. And today we are going back to Star Wars Empire, issue number 2 in this case. Now this says Marvel, but from what I understand, this is originally a Dark Horse comic that just got taken over because this is old legend stuff. Technically, this came out in the early 2000s, from what I understand. So yeah, Uru says stream online, raise shields, and get ready for YouTube shenanigans. Indeed. So we got the script here and all that. The events in this series take place in the weeks just prior to Star Wars A New Hope. Okay, so that gives us a pretty good timetable of when this takes place. Alright, so we'll be starting on page 3. So I was voicing Darth Vader, but do you want to voice... who do you want to voice of these characters?
I'll let you still carry on voicing Darth Vader if you've already grown accustomed to it. I'll voice the ginger dude on the left.
Okay. Alright, I guess I can voice the Imperial officer beside Vader as well.
Yeah. Does the ginger dude have an already preset voice, or can it just wing it with whatever?
Hey, feel free to wing it.
Okay, then. There's a distress signal coming from behind that yellow moon.
The rebels know we're here. Open communications and tell them we're boarding at once.
Do you have a cup lying about that you're speaking to for that voice?
What now?
Do you have a cup lying about that you're just speaking into?
No, I just covered my face with my hand.
I see. The budget for the show is massive.
Yes, it is. Is it working at least, though?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. Alright, you want to voice the other Imperial officer with the hat?
Yeah. They are in our tractor beam, Lord Vader. They've been emitting the distress signal since we got within range, but they've blocked all other communications, incoming and out.
Typical. Well, they're small enough to pull up into the docking bay. I sense no great significance to this ship. Admiral, have your first officer prepare a boarding party. We must disable this ship before the other arrives. Alright, so they've boarded the ship, or they've docked the ship in. I think that's...
What's the ship bright orange?
Yep. I'm not sure why it's bright orange, but it is, so...
Okay, I didn't think the Imperial colour scheme included orange, but I guess this is Legends.
I don't think this is quite an Imperial Navy ship, to be fair.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think I think that's your character there, because it's the guy with the hat.
My men are almost through. Is there any sign of activity on board yet? Negative, officer, at all.
We've broken through. Kick it in, Captain. It's abandoned. There's no... Admiral Coy, how did we receive the transmission? The distress
signal.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's your line. No, Admiral. The transmission which informed us of this rendezvous.
Hello? Hello? I said the ship appears to be abandoned. It was an open channel, Lord Vader. Admiral Carr, seal the airlock. Admiral Coy, do you copy?
What the?
We've disengaged from the tractor hold. What was that? What? Lord Vader thinks it's a...
Boom! Yep, it most certainly was a trap.
Jesus Christ, who the fuck are they fighting? The IRA? Everybody gangster till the spaceship starts singing Chucky Allah.
Well, the ship was painted orange, so...
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Let me read some of the comments here pretty quickly. Winners King says, sadly, we're not going back to Space Alabama this week. No, Space Alabama comes back next week, assuming we don't get more Halcyon Legacy. Oro says, hey, you didn't know the price of hands in the black market nowadays. It's a fucking luxury to have two hands attached. Winners King says, are we going to see the Empire be competent for once? Oro says, if you mean stormtroopers aiming, I doubt it, but who knows? Oro says, Akbar would be proud. Yeah.
Ha! Fucking, yeah, Louisiana bro just says, come out, you black and tans.
The Winners King says, half of what the rebels do in like all the Clone Wars was war crimes. Well, is it a war crime if it occurs in a universe where the Geneva Convention doesn't exist?
After all, it is a galaxy far, far away. The Geneva Convention does not exist beyond the solar system.
Although technically war crimes do still exist in the Star Wars universe, but from what I understand, they only really applied them to Imperial officers after the Rebel Alliance won.
Yeah.
So it's only really a war crime if you actually lose in the Star Wars universe.
Exactly, just like it is on Earth. It's only a war crime if you lose the war.
Winners King says, what is the Geneva Convention anyways? It's a checklist. Oros says, war crimes are only real if you want them to be. Winners King said something else, but I couldn't read it in time. That's fair enough.
Maybe the real war crimes were the friends we made along the way.
Maybe. Alright, so it looks like things are actually kicking off pretty severe. One of the Imperial... It's killing both officers and stormtroopers alike on that, so... Mm-hmm. And even Vader's having to pull out his lightsaber to save himself from what looks like some shrapnel or something.
Oh god, the way he's floating reminds me of that fucking Leia scene.
Yes, it does.
Like, just look how stationary he is.
So, if Leia was Space Mary Poppins, what does that make Darth Vader here?
Space Yondu? Or just Yondu in general?
Alright, so I think you'll voice the dude with the mask on the left-hand side there.
The leadership is present. The soldiers wait in my complex. Now, plan. The Emperor wishes to follow Tarkin to visit his Death Star. Vader's already gone.
Oh, that's going to go well, I'm sure. Let me read Winner's King comment here. Fun fact, the USA has a law called the Hague Invasion Act, allowing the U.S. president to use any measures necessary to prevent an American from being tried for war crimes at the Hague. So
That doesn't surprise me.
The U.S. effectively has a law saying that the Geneva Convention itself is illegal.
You have the you have the entire world focusing on certain people who commit war crimes. America's like, don't care, didn't ask. Don't care, didn't ask, plus L, plus we have your oil, plus ratio.
Yeah. Alright, so I think, it's one more. Calcul says, oh fuck, I'm like, I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, please don't try and pronounce Calcul's moon runes. He has studied them well.
Oro says, Bruta Calcul, welcome to War Crime Discussion Stream. Yes, we're talking about how the Geneva Convention does not apply to the Star Wars universe.
No, should it?
Agreed.
Right,
All
is it?
I think that's your character still talking.
General Skosk, you will handle our other problem?
Lots of pressure to lower decks. Observations gone completely. And Vader? Lord Vader has cost you a first officer, Admiral. You couldn't have known it was a trap, Lord Vader. Maybe if we told you how we received the transmission... Don't bore me with your absolution. The Alliance knows nothing of sacrifice. That ship was unmanned. There was a rendezvous, Admiral. We missed it. The rebel crew boarded another ship after setting this one in orbit. Find that ship.
Do you want me to voice the Crayola dudes?
Yes.
Stop. Clink. Okay, right, I'm sorry. Okay, so you've got a member of the Emperor's, like, royal guard who are trained vigorously. Why the fuck does he see some alcohol and just go, heh?
Yoink! That's why.
Heh, royal guard drunkie.
This reddish alcohol will hide well under my reddish cloak. Alright, Winner's King says, we also have exceptions written into the ban on napalm and other incendiaries, allowing the USA to use them when it would save lives. It never specifies whose lives. I could make a joke about that. I could. But
do it. You're already demonetized. Do it.
So what you're saying is that the USA wrote in that napalm is reasonable to use because it might save lives, because the USA believes all lives matter when they don't specify whose lives.
But Ace, don't you know napalm sticks to kids?
That is true.
Yes.
Brother Kakil says, yes, war crimes. Reminds me of the good old days when we basically destroyed all of Poland. Which time?
Oh, yeah, the Swedes fucked up Poland. I think it was during the Karolian days. Or Karolian days, yeah.
Yep. Uro says, all royal guards are capable, but not all are capable of ignoring Drinky. Elise Ambrose says, more war crimes more like I ain't got shit. Okay. All right. Now, let's go ahead and continue. Lord Vader, Admiral Coy, I'm picking up a signal from another ship. but it's quite far. If we were to pursue that, it would take us further off course from Darguli. I'd like to avenge my first officer, Lord Vader. Then it's convenient, for the sake of your sentimentality, that the Emperor's goal is to eradicate the rebel threat. The ship has not left. But Lord Vader, You've found a trade ship or some rogue pirate, nothing more. The rebel ship is hiding. Prepare to open fire. I believe that's your character.
I'm sorry, I'm just left speechless at the face this dude is pulling. Dude looks like a fucking chimpanzee.
Yep, yes he does.
Look at his... But Lord Vader.
It looks like he belongs in an NFT.
Oh, yeah.
That's the face of a man who buys NFTs and thinking they're legit.
Fucking randomly generates like Imperial officers. Oh yes, I got the Imperial officer variant. But
I'm now also thinking of you're familiar with a Warhammer themed YouTuber named Tariff?
I've heard the name, yes.
I'm now thinking of his memes making fun of Norska. If you've seen his memes making fun of Norska, you'll know exactly why.
Nah, sadly I've only heard of the name, but I think I might check him out after.
Because Norska is now one of the weaker factions in the Warhammer, Total War Warhammer, he's basically had all the Norskans be voiced by chimpanzees. And have them walk around on all fours and stuff like that. Because they can't do things like build walls.
Well, truly the Norska have returned to monkey.
Yes, they have. Anyways, so...
But where, Lord Vader?
Straight down. How did you...
So the Emperor's getting ready to board a shuttle. They sort of keep a close eye on that kind of thing. Tratijta. Not an ideal time to make a hit. Gua, please. Your work comes later. Hmm?
You ready for this? Ready as I'll ever be. They'll try to jump to light speed. Jam their... Let them. But Lord Vader, why prolong... Officer, let us know when they've pulled all power from their weapons and shields. Then we wait for a moment for the power to go to the hyperdrive and fire directly into their engines.
This should be something. Hmm?
You think he's late on purpose or what? Gah! Watch what you're saying. Any one of these guys could blow the whistle on you. BAM!
Oh, you got to be kidding me. That was amazing.
Seems like it.
Yeah, clearly.
Steady.
Lord Vader. We are missing them with every other shot. If we let them keep gaining ground,
Fire! Instantly deletes them.
yes,
Resume course for Draguli. I love how he just gives the order as he basically just mic drops and just heads out.
my job here is done. Bye bye, fuckos.
Alright, let me go ahead and read some of the comments here. Louisiana Bro says, can we get more Swole Wars? Maybe sometime in the future. Uro says, oh my god, we returned to Monkey. We did indeed. Winter's King says, Norska together strong. Uro says, the chins are strong with these Imperials. Brother Calciel says, okay, just to be clear, I was referencing the Deluge, which took place in the mid-late 17th century. The Caroleans were not formed yet by then.
Okay, yeah, that was my fault. I just assumed because Calcul is very much attributed with the Caroleans. I know he has a fascination with them, so I just thought, big Swedish Empire doing big Swedish Empire things.
Mm-hmm. Uro says, some people have weird kinks. So it would seem.
Yes.
Just look at Sam Maggs and what she tried to do to Luke Skywalker in one of her comics.
I'm sorry, what?
You know who Sam Maggs is, right?
Evidently, I don't.
Okay. So she is she's a woke writer who at one point was going to be working on the KOTOR remake.
Oh, nice.
Before it got canceled entirely. Although, to be fair, she left a few months before that happened anyway, so it could be a case where it might have been unsalvageable like the recent Batgirl movie, but we will see. Well, I'll have to double check on that. But she also worked on Call of Duty Vanguard as a writer.
Oh, no.
So if you're familiar with some of the writing in Vanguard, then you might have an idea of where this is headed.
Did they try to turn Luke gay?
They gave Luke Skywalker They turned him into a furry. She turned Luke Skywalker into a furry as part of the Star Wars Adventures comic book series.
Excuse me?
You're excused.
Luke Skywalker a furry? What nonsense you chatting?
Well, you'd have to... Let's see if I can find the comic again here. I did a stream on it. But basically, so Luke and Leia both end up going to this one planet. This takes place right after the Battle of Yavin. So they're looking for a place to set up a rebel base. So he decides to divert from where he was supposed to go to this planet. And it's a completely abandoned planet. Leia, by the way, unknowing that Luke went there, lands on the planet pretty much right next to his X-Wing and doesn't realize that he's there. Just take a few seconds to figure out how that works.
Okay.
Winter's King says, don't remind us, Ace. Uro says, let's not go there. Nathan blue screened for a second. So anyways, so what happened was Luke and... Okay, so Leia says, what are you doing here? And Luke says, well, the Force called me to this place, so I came to see if it seemed, and I quote, rebel basey.
What the okay.
But here's where the furry stuff comes in. So it turns out that the Empire, or some Imperial stormtroopers, are kidnapping this race of alien fox-looking creatures. But when Luke sees them, he goes all googly-eyed with little hearts and everything. And when they finally rescue these things, he says, and I quote, this has been the best day ever, with stars in his eyes, hearts all around, and all that. And,
okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that going on. For no explicable reason. Yeah, Louisiana Bro says Rebel Basie. Yes, Rebel Basie.
I mean, to be honest, it seems very out of character for somebody who literally used to shoot Womp Rats
Agreed.
on a gaming system.
To be fair, though, are you familiar with what Womp Rats are like in Star Wars?
Yes, I am. I have played a lot of the Lego Star Wars games, and hunting Womp Rats is one of the best things to do.
Yep. Winter's King says they made Luke worse than your standard werewolf enthusiast too. He liked that little animal way too much. Yes, he did. It also went. We also got some images of his imagination, and with this larger animal that actually is big enough to that it can easily dispatch stormtroopers and actually help rescue Luke. And he also got hearts and oogly eyed over that his imagination about that as well, which is also, yeah, kind of weird.
Cease.
Uro says, I remember reading that comic with you. I remember losing neurons. Me too. Winter's King says, I imagine xenophilia would be much more common in a galaxy with lots of aliens. However, they made it really creepy and weird. Yes. Also, I'm pretty sure even in the Star Wars universe, they would understand. So I'm pretty sure in the Star Wars universe, it would mainly be more a thing with, I don't know, aliens that have civilizations built up and what have you, not just random wildlife.
Yeah, I'd imagine you'd have your pick of people you could go for rather than finding the local Womp Rat and thinking, this'll do.
That's how we end up with the giant mutant womp rats from Super Star Wars.
Or maybe somebody looked at a spider on a regular planet and thought,
Oh, no.
I'll try my chances. 9 months later, the coom spider.
I hate the fact that we're developing the High Republic lore more for Disney than Disney could manage on their own.
Exactly. I much more prefer this canon.
The Winter's King says, I mean, the way they made his character, he probably wouldn't have ran from the Wampa so fast. Now, and Brother Cacule says, not the spider. Yes, the spider. We know. But anyways, let's go ahead and continue. So, do you want to voice the Royal Guard, or?
Yeah, I'll voice the Royal Guard. What was? Silence, guard. Ours is not to wonder why. When the dust settles, they'll suspect an assassination attempt.
Which begs the question, why not? Get the Emperor into the shuttle and blow it up after takeoff.
He'd never walk into a trap. Our plan depends upon that.
That's just throwing away troopers. Don't you have a limited supply?
We just need a few for this. It's mostly his troopers dying, as well as half the Royal Guard.
Following an assassination attempt, there will be demand for more stormtroopers to guard the palace.
An order we shall fill.
You have 100 stormtroopers. The palace need half that. What do we do with the rest?
Tractor. Why do we need this guy? Patience, Bartom. Don't fret, General Skosov.
I believe that's your line there still.
Yeah, sorry, fucking ads were bombarding my browser then.
Oh.
The rest have already been Dispatched. At ease. Wait. Okay, something I've noticed throughout this comic. Why did the Stormtrooper's helmet seems very weird?
Well, these are, from what I understand, these aren't regular stormtroopers. These are supposed to be drones of some sort.
Okay, but
But it is weird, though. You are right.
yeah, cause if they were dark phase troopers, the armors would be like a really dark gray, not pure white. It makes it seem like they're trying to pass off as actual stormtroopers.
I think they might be trying. Which is weird, but it's also, these guys are locally trained by that one dude with the mask, so.
Yeah.
Or yeah, anyways. Louisiana Bro says Coom Spider. Indeed. So that looks like that is the end of the comic.
Whoa, what the fuck? Wait, that's the end?
Yep.
Jesus Christ, what an abrupt ending.
To be fair, it is setting it up for part 3 pretty well. As a to be continued. But it is a cliffhanger for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, I've looked at the cover and immediately I don't know who the fuck this green dude is, unless he's on about my character. But then again, he kind of doesn't look anything like my character because he's got blue eyes, not like pure red.
I think it's that your character has glasses on, and that's why it's reflecting the light.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's what it looks like. But overall, what are your thoughts so far?
Uh. Okay, so again, it's a typical sort of 90s action, you know, comic. Not like a lot of dialogue in between the action or like the fight scenes. There's a bit of intrigue, easy to follow,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not standing out to me, if you get what I mean. Like, it's not like a storyline you'd remember.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's enough to keep me interested a little bit. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, so
Oh
far I'd
yeah.
still like to learn more.
Yeah, like the only thing I can vaguely remember is the ship being blown up. That's about it.
And that invader, of course, telling them that the other ship is in hiding, and then he just. Let me read some of the comments here. Ora says, previous chapter said they had basically been engineered, so probably indoctrinated or something similar. Calcul says, so you enjoy the sound of muskets in the morning? A little bit. Witness King says, you guys picked up on the plot yet? I don't want to spoil it, but okay. Adam says,
Oh yeah, it's a plot to assassinate Palpatine.
yeah.
But the thing is, it's a plot I've heard before. Like, I remember watching a Star Wars YouTuber had covered a plot by the rebels to essentially assassinate Palpatine, but Palpatine basically said that's some weak shit, and then he just boarded a different ship that day.
Mm. Witness King says, we're getting a bit of an Imperial Operation Valkyrie. Yeah, that's what I'm noticing. Adam says to me, I think they are lab-made stormtroopers. If true, these troopers were given better armor and weapons because they're serving on Star Destroyer that the Emperor uses. He a cyborg. Brother Crackle says, oh, and by the way, this is a magnificent stormtrooper chins.
Oh yeah, like I can just imagine those Giga Chad memes, but with like these new stormtroopers.
Yep. So it'll be. I will say this. I am interested to see where this goes. I've heard the comic
Yeah.
does really pick up in some stuff later on as well. Anyways.
Mm. The only problem now that I have is the fact that since the separation from canon and legend is the fact that when you read anything from legend, it's not developing on anything. It's something that's already been written upon, but it doesn't go anywhere. Like it's got no consequence. If you get me.
Well, it did in the Legends timeline. The problem
Oh
is
yeah.
Disney basically said everything doesn't exist.
That's what I mean. Like back then, it meant something if you were constantly following up with the comic, but because it's been separated, it doesn't really have any tangible effect on the franchise they have now.
Mm.
Because I don't think they are expanding Legends nowadays. Everything's canon beyond.
I think that is the case for the most part, and so. Basically, the biggest problem with Legends is Disney screwing it up yet again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ura says Giga Chad equals Giga Trooper. These are stormtroopers that can actually hit what they're shooting at.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, they did actually blow up that rebel ship that was trying to flee when Vader asked them to, so.
True.
So that is good. So yeah, ultimately though, would you say that this comic is better than the Disney stuff currently?
It actually held my interest for a little bit of it, as well as with an assassination plot against the Emperor. So yes, definitely.
Same here. Adam says most Dark Horse comics, Star Wars, were really good. My favorite was Star Wars Legacy with the Last Skywalker Cade. It's a mix of Luke and Hans. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Horse are definitely a reputable comic.
Mm-hmm.
Business. Like I think Dark Horse were the same people that made Darth Vader one of most Darth Vader's like most iconic moments, where he's surrounded by a bunch of rebels, and he says something along the lines of, all I'm surrounded by is scared men and shit, and everyone just holy fuck, that was a badass moment for Vader.
Yep.
Because everyone was just shitting themselves, like, we have you surrounded. Vader was like, I'm going to do what's called a pro gamer move. And they just wiped everybody out.
Yep. Vader gonna Vader.
Oh, yeah.
Ura says, we must read Dark Horse Torah comics because Dinosaur Hunter. Maybe I should actually expand more and cover more comics than just Star Wars and Warhammer.
They did Torah comics?
That does actually sound interesting. Now, are we talking about old? Are we talking about classic Torah lore, or are we talking about the reboot Torah lore?
Yes, yeah, Winter's King got it right. All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men. Like, holy shit, Vader was like the absolute Giga Chad in that moment.
Yes, it was. Uro says yes. Okay. Adam says, Rebel, you're surrounded. Vader, all I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men. Then goes ham on all of them like a boss. Yep. Uro says, yes, classic Turok lore. Okay, I am actually legitimately interested. Of course, I've also... Yes?
My boy, you've got to cover it. You've got to cover it, my boy.
I'm really thinking about it. Of course, also just as a heads up, I'm also considering covering you just to see how bad things are. I'm also thinking of covering though the some of that new Superman comic because I've heard about how bad that's been getting.
Holy shit! Yes, for the lulz, Ace, you must do it.
For the lulz.
Is that the one where Superman's like bisexual and some shit like that?
Oh yes, and now his latest enemy is 4chan, apparently.
What?
4chan and Kiwi Farms are apparently his big rival now, according to what V said. Yes, the one thing that keeps the Ubermensch away from success is 4chan and Kiwi Farms trolls.
Superman is weak to two things: kryptonite and weaponized autism.
Uro says the Gay Sun comic. I refuse to read that cringe.
Wait, hang on. Wasn't that the same comic where Superman got diddled in prison?
No, that's a different comic.
Oh, I thought it was the same.
No, it is a different comic, to be fair.
Oh no.
Louisiana Bro says 4chan bullies the gay Superman. Oh no.
Oh no, somebody's quoting statistics.
Superman versus 5chan. Superman loses, obviously. No one has ever defeated pure autism. Calcul says, lol, sorry, 4chan. Yep. Oro says, not exactly 100% like the games, of course, but hey, yeah. But yeah, I am morbidly curious to see just how bad that gets.
Well,
Honestly,
to be honest, maybe you could make it a staple on your channel, just reading like really, really bad comics.
maybe I could, yeah. Then again, though, we still have to, of course, do palate cleansers with legitimately good comics like this one.
Ah, that's true. Can't seep too deep into the degeneracy.
That, and it's a good juxtaposition to have something from the 90s and early 2000s compared to what we have to deal with now as far as comics.
Hi, true.
Winter's King, or Adam Wolford says, Darth Vader in the expanded comics and books, he's a fucking walking nightmare. Him in the 501st, he was scary and made Jason look sissy. Mm-hmm. Winter's King says, we take the autism and we purify it down to a concentrated form and then unleash it as the greatest of weapons. Uro says, I am warning you right now. Okay?
Yes. A warning from Uros definitely means something serious because I know he like a lot of us have witnessed the deepest, darkest pits of cringe, and if he's warning you about something, he means business.
Alright, so is he warning us that he's refusing to read that comic book series? Which, fair enough, I could let him read some other stuff alternatively, if that works for you.
I love how say let him as in you're going to invite him only to torture him.
No, it wouldn't have to be. It wouldn't have to be the gay Superman comic. It could be, or the gay Sun comic. It could be. I could have him on for other. I could have him on for other stuff if he wants. It's up to him on that.
Ace, you have the power to make him suffer.
Not really.
Do it.
Oro says, no, I mean it is so fucking bad you want to self-delete, but for some reason it didn't want to load. Okay, it's probably YouTube's doing. It is probably YouTube's doing.
Uros likes cringe. He embraces the cringe. He loves it. Please show him more cringe.
It looks like Oros has actually... Ulysses Ambrose says, Ace Reed, cringe, Rule 34 fanfiction now. I thought that's what the Halcyon Legacy was.
Oh, yes, with the whole doors opening in the middle of the night while you are getting a new brother and sister.
Yeah. Alright, so let's... I still can't believe that apparently it's sounding like it actually that the Galactic Star Cruiser might already be considered a flop, which is hilarious because the comic book series, which by the way is only meant to be a 5-part series, hasn't even finished yet.
Wait, hang on. Who the fuck even considered the Halcyon Legacy a success?
No, not the Halcyon. The actual hotel is considered a flop apparently.
Okay.
And the comic book...
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, but the hotel itself, yeah, who the fuck considered that a success?
I don't think anyone really considered that a success that was actually paying attention, but I think Disney already is admitting that it's a flop because I think, from what I understand, they're trying to get focus groups to figure out where it went wrong.
Holy shit, right. There's one bit where it definitely went wrong. Apparently, on the Halcyon Hotel, there's a moment where Ray, so-called biggest fat fucking quotes, unquote, Skywalker fights Kylo Ren, there's a moment where she pauses to
Mm-hmm.
be in this position where she has like an actual realistic lightsaber, and then the music starts, and you very clearly see her put her actual lightsaber away and just bring out this fucking plastic one and then start fighting him.
Yep, I did actually see that. I
Yeah,
saw that video. That is.
like one that doesn't even fucking make sense. Like, why the hell are Rey Skywalker and Kylo Ren on board the thing? Like, if you want the Halcyon to be a law accurate hotel, why the fuck are they on the same ship? And two, that's such shoddy choreography.
Mm-hmm.
Like what the fuck are you actually doing? Showing a fight that has nothing to do with the hotel.
I'm pretty sure, right? So, if I remember correctly, here's a good example. Here's a good contrast. If I remember correctly, there was a some sort of I think. Okay, so growing up back when I was a kid, there was a local built. I think it was a park or something like that that during Halloween had some sort of event going on, right? So you go up there dressed in your Halloween outfits.
Aye.
And so I think at one point a couple of characters from that park or whatever were play fighting with swords. And they could actually and I'd say that even that did better than what Disney did with Rey and Kylo's fight there on the Halcyon.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I mean, like a
At
good
least
choreographed lightsaber fight is entertaining for anybody to enjoy.
mm. Winter's King says you hear about how they canceled Batgirl and sacrificed $7 or $100 million to not let anyone see it for fear it would permanently taint the brand. I did in fact hear
Haha,
about that.
yes.
I did, in fact, hear about that. I'm actually considering doing a video on that. I also heard, by the way, that HBO is canning something like, or whoever responsible was canning something like 70% of the people that worked on it because
Yeah,
it flopped that bad.
like imagine having a film with Michael fucking Keaton as Batman, and it still will not be shown.
It's still so utterly garbage and utterly irredeemable that any attempt to try to recoup the costs by showing it to people would cause any future projects to just lose money.
Yeah.
That is how embarrassing they actually made it, apparently. Let's see here. Calcul says, my, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but anyways, Luis Ambrose says, I just made an Islamic caliphate of British flag. Trying to think of how that would work. Brother Calcul says,
It
Inshallah.
doesn't.
It'd be like putting the Welsh flag onto the British flag.
Yeah, I'd get to be honest, I don't think that would work. I think yeah, Louisiana Bro is just coping because he's a Yank.
Adam says, Ace, Clownfish did video about it, so half of May and June, July and August, most of September. There's days of no more reserved rooms. There are a few, and the number of people is like under 300. Okay, so there are basically there's plenty of openings, even though they only made it for around 300 people tops at a time.
Oh yeah, shit, fuck. Speaking of the Halcyon, yeah, don't they sell like a drink that's like $5,000, where it comes in this weird portable container that releases smoke, and it's just a shot glass, or like three shot glasses. That's about it.
Well, yeah. Well, yes and no. Yes, Disney sells the drink. No, it's not at the Halcyon. It's actually on a cruise ship.
Oh, okay, okay.
The drink is more
Which
expensive than the cruise, by the way, that you're getting it on. So,
which is kind of fucking weird if you're gonna sell a Star Wars themed drink but not have it at your dedicated Star Wars themed hotel.
that should tell you something about just how successful that hotel actually was, or not. Alfarius says, I'm finally here. Oh, it's over. Dang it. Sorry, Alfarius. Sorry, but yeah, it is kind of over. But yeah, I think we've been on. I think we've been going for a little bit, so I think it's a good time to call it. So, is the comic book worth reading in your opinion?
In my opinion, after reading one issue, because it's Legends and it's not been handled by the current day Disney team, yes. Because these people, like, especially from Dark Horse, they know how to write comics.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see where it goes myself with this plot to try to assassinate Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader as well.
Well, obviously, if you've read anything about Legends, then you know that obviously it doesn't go through because Disney canon of like Jedi, like is like, oh, Jedi are these really powerful beings. Legends version of Jedi are like galaxy ending level of fucking Jedi, like the demon Abeloth, and then Luke teaming up with a Sith Lord to fight this like Lovecraftian being that's kind of sounds like she's straight from like Warhammer herself.
Winter's King says, should have gone for a ship-themed hotel. Should have gone for a Jedi Sith Academy-themed place. That would have easily made money and allowed for way easier planning and construction. Agreed. But this is Disney we're talking about. Modern, woke Disney. So, creativity is not on the menu, boys. Adam Wolford says, yeah, it's 5 shots with dry ice smoke, but no one knows what's in it. Al Ferry says, huh, the fuck, I missed a bit. Yeah, you did. I don't... But I do think now's a good time to go ahead and, like I said, call it. So I am interested in seeing where this goes, of course. And although next week is most likely going to be more X-Wing Rogue Squadron, where we get back to Space Alabama. Brother Cacul says, learn Italian. Trust me, it's easy. Way easier than English. All right, I'll take your word for it and see about giving it a try. But yeah, I think it's a good time to go ahead and call it. So yeah, this has been Ace.
And this has been Nathan X2000. Thank you again for having me. It's always enjoyable.
Thank you again for once again being on board. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it. So yeah, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.